A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
It is time for the regular season finale. Welcome to the Mecca of Motorsports. Welcome to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Here for round 15 of season 10. Quack 1 Open here tonight at Indy. It's Tommy Cook. It's Matt Williamson. Just to be upfront with everybody, we are experiencing some technical difficulties, and you got to love when those crop up. We're doing our best to work through them. But I know we got a patient audience in the house. It's a packed house here in virtual Indy, though, Mr. Matt Williamson, and it's a great day whenever we can come back home again to Indiana.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's one of the great places that you and I get to go to every now and then because it's close. And it is a beloved place by everybody that is interested, even in the slightest, in motorsports. It's always great to be back here. And the trucks always put on an interesting show. You never quite know how it's going to play out. And oftentimes that is because of how the cautions may come throughout the evening. How will they fly tonight? We're going to have to wait and see.
An average of 3 cautions in the 2 previous Venom Truck Series races here at Indianapolis. Let's quack in to the point standings, and things are looking very interesting. There are a couple of names in white on the left side of this graphic. Don't worry about them. They're 2 points away from statistically being good. The right side of the graphic, things are not comfortable. There is work to be done for the 2 drivers above the cut line.
Yeah, not comfortable would probably be an understatement here, I think. Andy Poliski, Jan Van Leer, like you just mentioned, those 2 are going to be good here as long as they make the start, basically. Those 6 drivers above them already locked in. Then you go to Andy Ducato and Garrett Rainey. That is where things get interesting. Austin Holyfield and Josh Freed are only 14 and 16 points back consecutively. Kyle Zittel, Paul Ellison, Hayden Palumbo have a bit more work to do, but could potentially still make it happen here.
Well, it is time to roll into the starting lineup, and we are missing our slate of graphics, as it were. So you're going to have to be relying on me as a narrator for a lot of the night. Again, we're working through it. Hopefully those issues are resolved by the end of the night, but honestly, I'm not banking on it. Technology do be stupid sometimes. So this is how the 25 driver starting lineup will look here this evening. It is the reigning series champion, the current regular season title holder, Matt Schlosser, with his third pole position of the season, the sixth of his career in the Venom Truck Series. He has Hayden Palumbo to his outside on that front row. Palumbo has a very outside shot at a postseason berth. He will be hoping to win tonight. Andy Poliski and Brody Gunter on row number 2. It is Lucas Carver and Jan Van Leer on row 3. Paul Ellison and Kyle Zittel both need something to go their way here tonight. They will start on row 4. Joshua Matacek and Josh Freed will be your top 10 starters. Steve Roman to the outside of Brantley Gainey, who missed last week. Gainey starts in the 11th. Garrett Rainey and John Kay on row number 7. It's Zach Locke and Joshua Rutherford on row 8. Jack Watts, Austin Holyfield, Jordan Journeau, and Cole Maxwell, the top 20. Tyler Berger, the sponsored driver of the night, is 21st. Corey Rutherford, 22nd. Gary Clark in 23rd. Chad Stearns, last week's race winner, way back there in the 24th position. And Andy Ducato, we talked about how great of a season he was having in his rookie campaign. Sounds like he's come down with an injury. That is what I have been told. So that would explain some of the struggles the last couple of weeks. And he just needs to ride it out here tonight. He starts shotgun on the field in P25. Taking a look at the weather conditions, it is nice and sunny, 83 degrees. Is the ambient temperature, 102 degrees on the track temperature. And Matt, you and I have been around the block here a couple of times. This is a quirky racetrack, even though it is the most famed in all of North America.
Yeah, it is certainly different. Of course, it's more of the rect oval, or kind of like a rectangle, I guess you could say, rather than a traditional oval. You got the big long straights, and then you have the shorter straights and the north and the south chute. And as the tires start to go on these trucks, you have to lift a little bit more throughout the corners, but I mean, really, this is a momentum racetrack. If you slip up in a corner and you lose your momentum down one of the big long straights, you are in trouble and could lose multiple positions.
Two previous winners here at IMS are not in the field. It's Jeff Langston and Hunter Engrav are guaranteed a new winner with the Venom Truck Series here at the Mecca of Motorsports. Match last rate Hayden Palumbo for 70 laps. Quack won open or green for the regular season finale. The race is on to the South Chute. Palumbo leading. But Schlosser right up to the door. Oh, and loose behind them. That's Andy Poliski tracking it down to the paint. And Poliski is going to drop back from his third starting spot back outside of the top 10 as he finds himself on the inside of 3 wide. Palumbo trying to get the lead up front. Brody Gunter is pushing right up and now will roll out of it as the leaders still continue to go side by side here early. Schlosser clear. Palumbo coming back with a run, though. As that truck wiggles out from underneath of him, he'll have some help down the straight here from Brody Gunter. Is this open wheel racing, or is this the NASCAR trucks at Indianapolis? Schlosser leads it, but now Palumbo's clear. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if these drivers continue to battle this hard and they abuse the tires too much, it's definitely going to look more like stock car racing here in a few laps.
It really does not take long. Schlosser quickly back to third. Little maneuver happening behind them. Lucas Carver, Kyle Zittel. Carver trying to hang on to this spot. Zittel is taking it away now up to fifth. I'm terribly surprised to see drivers taking it easy here early. With how square this racetrack is, it's easy to square your tires off as well. So 2 laps complete, 68 laps to go. We don't have a concrete fuel number. We didn't really have time to get to testing before we realized that things were not going to be working properly here this evening. But a best guess on what the fuel number may be and whether or not we're even chasing a fuel number, in your opinion. Are the tires the prevalent factor here?
Man, I don't know. I mean, as far as if it's going to be the tires versus the fuel, to me, that's really hard to say. I mean, this has always traditionally been a fuel race. I mean, especially if we don't have any cautions, it's always been a fuel-safe race, in my opinion. I think we'll probably have to make 2 stops, but I mean, of all of the racetracks, I think one of the reasons this is a fuel mileage race a lot of times is because there is opportunity to save a lot here at Indianapolis, especially as the tires start to go. You're off throttle a lot through these corners. You can, kind of determine down the straights how much you want to use. You can use the draft a lot. So I think it's a little bit up in the air right now. But kind of as we mentioned at the top, depending on where a caution flies, I mean, that could pretty much solidify whether this is going to be a tire or a fuel race.
So if you've just joined us, we're having some issues with our overlays, working on getting it fixed, but not a guarantee that we'll get it back by the end of this race. So periodically, we're just going to have to run through the field and give you the lap count manually. We're coming to put lap number 4 on the board right now. 66 laps to go when they get back to the stripe. Hayden Palumbo is the leader from the outside pole. Brody Gunter is up to second. Matt Schlosser, the pole sitter, back to third. Jan Van Leer, Kyle Zittel, the top 5. Lucas Carver in 6th. Paul Ellison in 7th. Joshua Matacek is in 8th. Josh Freed is in 9th. Brantley Gainey into the top 10. John Kay just made a pass on Steve Vroman for 11th. Vroman is back to 12th. Poliski way back to 13th after starting in 3rd. Garrett Rainey in 14th. Zach Lockett in 15th. Watching some of the bubble drivers, Andy Ducato right now just made a pass for 21st on Cole Maxwell. And the aforementioned Garrett Rainey is in 14th. Austin Holyfield, strong run at Phoenix last week. He's currently running back in the 20th position, about to be overtaken by Chad Stearns.
Little side-by-side here between Gainey and Vroman will get the best of the 22 for now.
So that is 2 spots lost on this lap for Brantley Gainey. Was in 10th. John Kay and Roman are both through. I want to say hello to the folks that are in the chat with us. Robin Mondacek, Bailey Mondacek, Joshua Rutherford, Nathan Carroll, Matt Woods, and American Speed Network. Thanks for hanging out with us. As you were about to say, I think Joshua Monacek is pulling up to Paul Ellison here.
It certainly is. Ellison needs to have a stellar night here tonight to try and put himself over the hump and into the chase format playoffs after tonight. It's not an outside shot. He has a great shot at it, but it's going to have to get maximum points at the halfway mark of this race and then still have a great finish.
Brantley Gainey continuing to slide back. Andy Poliski has regained a spot up to 12th. Poliski, not much to worry about here this evening. Came in 52 points to the good. And really, he needed to be 54 here to ensure a spot, as Ellison and Matacek nearly getting locked together there, as Ellison will get underneath of Carver here for 7th, or rather for 6th. And Matacek follows him right through. We talk about kind of the conveyor belt at Martinsville. It's similar feeling here, although at much higher speeds, these drivers are carrying 180 into the corners.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those places it's really tough to pass, like you just said. You kind of have to sit and wait for a mistake from your competitor to, make them easily. If you have to muscle up, especially this early in the race, you're really doing yourself, a little bit of a disservice on the long run. So it's really hard to go for those aggressive passes this early on in the race.
Hayden Palumbo leading by half a second over Brody Gunter. Schlosser has been putting in some good lap times here. He has caught Brody Gunter to about 2 truck lengths. The top 3 overall have pulled away from Jan Van Leer in 4th. Kyle Zittel still rides in 5th. Been watching Ellison and Matacek stay within close proximity to one another, and a lot of eyes are on John Kay here as he has worked his way into the top 10. Here's the move to the inside of Josh Freed Another one of those drivers that needs a perfect night like Paul Ellison. Freed started in the top 10, but this is to put him back to 10th as Kay will get up to P9. So John Kay with a rough week last week, but a good start to his night tonight, 14th to 9th here in just 8.5 laps.
And now Vroman and Poliski starting to get into this battle here, the 00 and the 32. Whoa, as you see, you're going to see that pretty often here tonight. Drivers getting loose, especially off of turn number 3. You're going to see some drivers, especially as the tires start to go, you're going to see some drivers get up into the wall tonight. I don't think there's really any doubt about that.
The wind, if you're curious, is blowing across the straightaway, so no decided advantage up or down the long straights here. It'll play a factor in the short shoots. And wind in your face in turn number 3, like you were just mentioning as well.
Chad Stearns starting to try and make some moves here. Of course, the winner from last week at Legacy Phoenix, he will get by Jack Watts.
Stearns up to 16th, started dead last in this field.
I mean, this is another one of those racetracks. It's not, an oval like Stearns is necessarily used to, but, I mean, this is a race that can certainly go the distance green. And, I mean, there's nobody better on the long green flag runs than the 05 consistently.
Ooh, look at that. Zach Lockett zipping right through in front of Chad Stearns there. That was through on Garrett Rainey, and Stearns now is going to try and plug this hole as well. Joshua Matichek just made a pass on Paul Ellison. Now he's going right to work here on Kyle Zittel. This would be for 5th. So Matichek on the move here early. This race a couple of seasons ago in his rookie season is kind of what put Joshua Matichek on our radar. He'd done a decent job in his rookie season, but came here and podiumed. And has not really looked back since. Sounds like a lot of drivers have already found their way into the wall. Some complaints of tire and wheel damage. All this room to work with in square corners, kind of low speed, weird angles. But these walls just have magnets in them sometimes. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I mean, the big problem about this is if you get the entry wrong, is there's a little contact there between Gainey and Vroman. And it was really Gainey drifting up the racetrack, but Gainey's also going to get the worst of it. He's going to drop 2 or 3 positions, but now here comes Zach Lockett in the 93.
Lockett through on Vroman, so move Zach Lockett now up to 12th. Stearns gets through. Jordan Journeau is retired from the race.
And
as all of a sudden, for the lead, Brody Gunter has caught Hayden Palumbo to a truck length here. So Gunter's coming to life and bringing Schlosser with him as well.
Paul Ellison also just got through on Kyle Zittel also. So Ellison is doing what he needs to do to give himself the best shot to get into the chase.
Early moves for Zittel, but he is now dropped from 5th back to 7th.
And that's important because both of those drivers trying to fight their way in, both of them were on the right side of the graphic a little bit earlier.
So lap 13 on the board this time, 57 laps to go.
Oh, issues in the back.
Whoa, see Vroman. Vroman into the inside wall out of turn number 4, and that will trigger our first caution of the race. There is exactly a truck width to work with there as the field onrushes. And Vroman and Gainey, who had just gotten tangled together a couple laps ago, it sounds like they have made some contact again. And unfortunately, the issues that we're having, more than likely, we're not going to be able to show you a replay of this. So I'll rewind it myself and see what the issue is. Oh, Vroman through turn number 4 got down on that rumble strip there. There's a thin gray rumble strip right on the grass and the corners. So Vroman a little bit too low with those left side tires, puts them on the rumble strip, and that will push that truck straight into the outside wall. Vroman into the wall hard and nowhere for Brantley Gainey to go. I mean, he went straight into the tailgate of the 00 Vroman, and that truck is destroyed. I would imagine the Brantley Gainey has quite a bit of damage on the front end of that truck as well. But the extent of that wreck is just limited to those 2 drivers, so that's the good news. Especially, you know, I mean, Roman coming bounding back up into traffic, that could have very easily collected a whole bunch of drivers.
Certainly could have. While we are under caution here, I'm just gonna test something. This is gonna look a little wonky for the viewers at home, but we're gonna we're gonna see if we can maybe zoom in a little bit so we can get some access to some more toys here at the bottom of the screen. But hopefully you won't be able to see it.
Yes, to Sam Baumgarten in the chat, and to anybody else that has missed it, we are having some very impromptu technical difficulties, so we're working through them. So we're making do with what we've got. This is going to have to do. So retirements from Steve Vroman and Jordan Journeau leave us with 23 drivers on the track. Lap 56, or rather lap 14 on the board. 56 laps to go. I would imagine everybody is coming down pit road. And here they go. Palumbo leads him in. See if anybody is going to play some games. Does not look like it all through the 20. And now indeed down to 23rd, or down pit road here under the first caution of the night.
This is better than nothing, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, until you do that, I guess.
You know, it's fine.
Some folks have heard our gripes about other things with our overlays. This is certainly maybe the worst we've seen.
Yeah, it's pretty inexplicable, honestly.
I'm not even sure it's totally their fault. Yeah, I don't know. There's been updates to multiple things on my computer, but they shouldn't have any effect. But you know, sometimes shouldn't and doesn't are 2 different things.
Very much so. So that is a saved by the bell moment for Hayden Palumbo. He wins the race off pit road, but Gunter was actively making the pass for the lead at the time of the caution. Gunter comes out second, Schlosser third, Jan Van Leeren fourth, Joshua Matacek in fifth, Paul Ellison sixth. That is how they came in. Zittel comes out seventh, John Kay gains a position in eighth, Josh Freed gains a position in ninth, Andy Poliski gains a position in 10th, Lucas Carver is back to 11th. Zach Lockett 12th, Chad Stearns will come out 13th, he gains multiple spots. Jack Watts 14th, Garrett Rainey 15th, Austin Holyfield in 16th, Andy DeCano 17th, Corey Rutherford in 18th, Cole Maxwell in 19th, Gary Clark in 20th, 21st for Tyler Burgert. And then extended stays on pit road for Brantley Gainey and Joshua Rutherford. They go 22nd and 23rd. Steve Roman and Jordan Journeau out of the race in 24th and 25th.
So now that we can hopefully take a look at this, let's see what did happen here between Vroman and Gainey.
Impressive. Very impressive.
Oh, and this is just coming off of turn 4. We said we were going to see some drivers in the wall. And that was Steve Vroman hitting it pretty hard. And unfortunately, Gainey did not have anywhere to go. Also saw in the chat that Joshua Rutherford says that he had 4 minutes of damage.
Hopefully he's gotten at least a couple of those fixed, as he came out right in front of the pace truck under this caution. So we are working lap 16. We'll have 53 laps to go when we get back to the stripe. Hayden Palumbo is the controlled truck, and he will start on the inside despite taking the lead at the start of the race from the outside pole. Is that a bit of an anomaly, you think, for a stock car at Indianapolis to get motoring from the outside pole?
I don't know. I guess I've seen it both ways. I would assume that you would take the inside here. I mean, it's not to me. There's not a whole big advantage on taking the inside versus the outside. I mean, maybe your angle into turn one could be better on the outside, I do suppose. But I mean, typically you're going to get such a jump on the field. When you are the control truck, it typically doesn't matter that much, I wouldn't think. But I don't know. We'll have to see here.
See how fired up these drivers are for a restart on lap 17. Palumbo and Gunter, Schlosser and Van Leer. Matichek and Ellis in the top 6 as we're back under the awning through the pagoda. And into turn number 1, it's Palumbo leading the top 4 single file. Matichek to the inside of Ellison to hang on to 5th. Even Stevens through the south chute. Hunter down into the grass. You can hear the left side tires down in the earth. And Schlosser is going to take advantage. Gunter lucky not to get pulled around on cold tires there. And that would have been a big problem for everybody. Here's Schlosser for second. Mostly single file through the top 10, save for this battle. Still plenty of side-by-side from 11th on back. Gunter staves off the reigning series champion for now. As lap 18 on the board this time. What does Josh Freed need to make it in the playoffs? He needs quite a bit. What he definitely needs is to gain some spots, and that's where I have some good news. He restarted 10th. He's up to 9th, and they are getting after it in front of him. I believe Freed entered minus 20 to the cut line. He needs some good stage points at the halfway mark of the race on lap 35. And basically, he needs to win this race. Hope that Andy DeConto or Garrett Rainey finish in the 22nd position.
Lucas Carver in the 89 tried to get a run on Chad Stearns there in the 05, but came up a little bit short. He'll have to gain his momentum back. I mean, you see him pull down to the inside, have to take that inside entry, and he lost a truck length at least, if not more, trying to take that shallow entry into turn 3.
Purple lap for Hayden Palumbo up front. He's extended his advantage to 0.3 of a second. Chad Stearns on the move. Here he goes to the inside of Andy Poliski, trying to crack the top 10 for the first time tonight. And he is through. Stearns to 10th. Started shotgun on the field, making good work thus far. You said this is kind of a Chad Stearns track. This is, I don't know, it's a track where he can race as Palumbo and Gunter are door-to-door.
Side by side for the lead. That allows Schlosser to have a much better entry all by his lonesome there behind him, but didn't really have anywhere to go with it. Now he's going to have a run on Palumbo.
Follow up around the outside, or rather on the inside. Palumbo, no drive out of 2 and is going to drop from 1st to 3rd. Schlosser to 2nd, and Gunter on point.
And not too far behind, Paul Ellison, who definitely needs as many bonus points at the halfway mark as he can get. He is still trying to march his way forward here. We are about 14 laps from paying those bonus points out, and he is trying to get as far up as possible before the bell rings there.
Working lap 21, 49 laps to go overall. Gunter, the new leader. Schlosser in second. Palumbo back to third, and Palumbo is dropping back quickly to this grouping in fourth, fifth, and sixth. Jan Van Leer, Paul Ellison, and Joshua Monacek. JVL knows he's going postseason racing. He'll make it official at the stage, regardless of where he finishes. Paul Ellison, like you said, desperately needs to basically win this race, as do Kyle Zittel, who currently runs in seventh, and Josh Freed, who currently runs in ninth.
Ooh, Brody Gunter in the lead, flirted with the wall a little bit there on exit. That's what you have to do to be fast around here, though. You have to use every nook and cranny here in between that inside white line, even down below the white line, and that outside wall.
I tell you what, this championship battle has been brewing for about the last month. Gunter finding his footing, Schlosser getting hot again, headed into the postseason. This could really be something for the next 5 weeks if these two continue to battle the way they've been doing for about the last month or so. Chad Stearns is catching his teammate Josh Freed. He'll start to look around to get up to ninth. John Kay as well catching his teammate Kyle Zittel just in front of this duo. Been a rough couple of weeks for John Kay, especially in Phoenix last week. I think finished in 18th. It was a rough one. But a solid start to the night for him thus far. Palumbo now pulling the train. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth are coupled up. And just as we were saying, Chad Stearns was going to make a move on Josh Freed, Andy Poliski has passed the 05 truck, and Poliski's back into the top 10.
Poliski's been solid around here, and we talked about, the more consistent season that Poliski has had. That is flattened out a little bit over the last couple of weeks. Poliski's just looking for a nice, solid night heading into the postseason here. Needs to gain a little bit of confidence and a little bit of momentum. Oh, caution is out.
And I'm not sure. Oh, Corey Rutherford is around in turn number 2 from the looks of it. And that truck is in a bad way. Meatball flag is out for the 15 truck, and he is headed back to the pits. So we'll see what has happened to Corey Rutherford coming off of a top 10 finish last week at Phoenix. Ran awfully nice.
Yeah.
Back in 08 Phoenix.
If I had to guess, probably going to be hitting the wall here, but let's take a look.
Not only is he hitting the wall.
Oh, boy. It looks like Brantley Gainey is... Oh, my goodness.
Youch.
Oh, and then tags... that was Cole Maxwell that he tagged there right at the end. You saw Joshua Rutherford in the chat earlier say that it seems like these trucks are pretty fragile, so it seems like even a little shot to the right rear like that might, could potentially be somewhat detrimental to the speed that you're able to carry here. We'll move back up to Corey. I mean, this is twice in a row that Brantley Gainey has had somebody get up into the wall right in front of him with, not a lot of places to go.
Yep, not at fault for either of these crashes, but certainly, seemingly the worst place to be right now is in front of the 22 truck.
Man, and you can see Corey sideways there in the middle of the corner, and I mean, just loses it up the racetrack. And then coming back down and hitting the inside wall. I mean, that's what really did him in. You could see the smoke pouring out of the engine bay there.
So 25 laps complete. It's our second caution of the night. These drivers were just on pit road on the lap, I believe, 16 for our first caution. 3 extra sets of tires. Are you coming in right now? We're about to find out. Gunter says no. Schlosser says yes.
Man, that was a late dive down for John K. A couple other drivers. It's Lucas Carver. Cole Maxwell probably just coming in for some damage fix in there as well.
That's it. Schlosser, K, Carver, and Maxwell. And Joshua Rutherford as well. Also for damage repair. So 3 drivers mixing it up a little bit. Schlosser, as long as he doesn't crash out of this race, he'll be the regular season champion. Not that that gets you anything. But, you know, it's a feather in the cap. And a cap that is slowly gaining more feathers here on Tuesday nights. But so he's mixing it up a little bit. So is John K, Lucas Carver. K's been slowly plucking his way through the field here. Seeing how many duck puns I can throw in the night.
Taking a look at that right rear for Maxwell, it looks pretty solid. I think he probably got most of that fixed if there was any damage there.
And again, if you've joined us late, sorting through some issues with our overlays, and by sorting through, I mean completely having to reinstall the entire program, and it's still not working.
Yep.
You can only control what you can control. And it's still a broadcast with us. You're still seeing the trucks. Just the cameras take a little extra something to to get from point A to point B.
I mean, this is certainly what you would call a bare bones broadcast. There's nothing there's no doubt about that.
Any excuse that I get to do a radio, even semi-radio broadcast, I'm in. So sorry to the people that watch this for anything other than me talking.
I mean, it does not get any more bare bones than this. The fact that we zoomed in the entire screen just to get some replays going. I mean, that's is that redneck ingenuity or something, I guess? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I do want to say we've had, I think, close to 500 races streamed on this channel. And this is maybe the 5th time something like this has ever happened. So if you're here, you're witnessing history. And welcome aboard. The show must go on. Yes, indeed. Good evening to you as well. Thanks for hanging out with us.
I'm assuming that could be Rob Williams in the chat.
Oh, it is, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube decided to get rid of names and go with handles, but it's definitely throwing me off.
Yeah, not seeing Stickers McQueen next to that picture
yeah,
definitely.
I dropped his government name on accident. Oh no! Oh dear! Now that is a first. 500 streams, and that is a first time. Sorry to Stickers McQueen.
We have to. I mean, this is what tells you something, though. The people that have been here often and from day one, the fact that I just know that from the picture and not the name is really something. So thank you for as many times as you've been here. For me to know your name by picture, that is it's pretty good stuff there.
Oh man,
they're changing everything on us tonight.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, well, Courtney Rutherford is out of this race, as he's alluded to in the chat. So that leaves us with 22 drivers on the track. Joshua Rutherford is rejoining the tail. Brady Gunter and Hayden Palumbo on the front row. It's now Jan Van Leer and Paul Ellison on row 2. Joshua Matacek and Kyle Zittel on the third row. Fresh tire drivers back in 19th, 20th, and 21st. or rather 18th, 19th, and 20th. Matt Schlosser, John Kay, and Lucas Carver. Green flag. A couple of drivers spinning the tires there. One of them might have been Palumbo, as Gunter is clear by a truck length and a half. Oh, Monacek losing the nose there. Almost piled in there to Zittel. They are closing in quickly behind him. Poliski, Freed, and Stearns bumped right down the straight.
Yeah, and you saw the momentum that Zittel was able to get around the outside of turn 2 down the long straight. He is well clear of Monacek now. And Poliski is going to look to do the same, but pretty close to contact there with Carver.
Talk about establishing momentum. This is what it looks like when you don't have any. Gunter leads lap 28. Poliski trying to get clear on Monacek and will do so. Poliski having a good comeback as Monacek tries to slide her on Freed, but Freed is there and rolls out of it. Keep your eye on Matt Schlosser, already up to 15th on the fresher tires.
And John Kay not too far behind either. Boy, they could get all the way up here by the time the halfway bonus points are paid out. I didn't think they had a shot.
That really could be something. These drivers up front are doing their best to try and break away. Gunter and Palumbo have done that. Well, kind of. Palumbo now is falling backwards a little bit to JVL. But Gunter's certainly checked out.
Look at Schlosser continues to pound the inside here. I mean, he just has such good grip on the inside. He's still able to get the momentum off the corners, even though he's down on the inside of the racetrack.
Looks so comfortable. Here he goes. Watts leaves the door open. Not much of a choice. Schlosser going to blow by.
And Schlosser's picking up a couple drivers a lap here at this point. It's going to start getting into some of our faster cars there. They'll see what he has for your top runners.
One of the trucks in front of... Oh, go ahead.
Almost up to 10th already. I mean, he is flirting with the top 10 here.
I will say, Chad Stearns has made it up to Josh Freed. And we saw Poliski get in the middle of them earlier. I don't think Stearns is trying to get through on Freed. I think he's playing the team game.
Oh,
whoa! Into the wall hard. Monacek really caught it. More of a glancing blow for Freed. But I think that could really upset the handling of both of these trucks. Monacek especially. He might have toe out.
My goodness, that was close to disaster for all three of those drivers.
It still might be for Monacek. Again, already into the postseason. Doesn't have to worry about that. But Freed trying to get through on the 60, loses the nose. And now they've got Schlosser and Kay approaching quickly on fresh rubber.
Yeah, and Freed really wants to get through. You see him sticking his nose underneath the Monacek. But those drivers on the fresher tires are starting to make their way through here. Here comes Matt Schlosser.
Now this is 939 Motorsports nose to tail for position. Got to be careful here. A lot of money in one shop online.
Yeah,
Kay is going to pick a party.
Yeah, I mean, Schlosser, if you're Schlosser, you don't want to mess around too much with your teammates here. I mean, of course you want to help them, but, I mean, John Kay is going to get through on you here if you're not careful. So I think Schlosser's just going to have to take it while he can.
Sure, Freed needs a couple of laps to regroup here after a stressful run in there with Monacek and the wall. So Schlosser might just break things up for a little bit as he gets through on Stearns. Stearns trying to shut the door behind Schlosser on John Kay. You're not missing anything up front. 1.3 second lead for Brody Gunter. We are approaching the halfway mark of the race. Lap 33 is on the board. 37 to go. We're paying off the stage points at the completion of lap 35. Gunter, Palumbo, Van Leer, Ellison, Zittel, the top 5. Poliski, Monacek, Freed, Schlosser, and Stearns right now the top 10. But Kay is going to get through on the 05. Move John Kay back into the points. Schlosser taking a run to the inside of Freed for 8th.
See how well Freed is able to hold the outside here off a 3. Does a pretty good job. Oh, a little wide there.
In front of them as well as Freed. Oh boy, just barely keeps it out of the wall. Schlosser and Kay should get through no problem. Andy Poliski just had his nose chopped by Kyle Zittel there in turn number 4. And that is for a spot in the top 5, a spot on which I'm sure Matt Schlosser is eyeing right now. Looking to make quick work of Modicek here for 7th.
This is lap 35 on the board. This is it. At the completion of this one, points are going to be paid out.
Freed trying to hang on to 1 point. As Schlosser and Kay both threw on Modicek. So 1 point isn't nothing, but it's not going to help much. Josh Freed really needs something drastic to change in this race to have a shot at the postseason. Schlosser threw on Poliski for 6th.
Paul Ellison going to get great points out of it, though, as Poliski and Kay nearly bit the dust, and Kay gets into Poliski.
All that work for Andy Poliski after the save on the opening lap. And Andy's going to lose a handful of spots all at once again.
Yeah, things are starting to get wild back here with Poliski dropping back. Stearns drops down to the bottom. He will take the position. Lucas Carver trying to work his way through, and now Freed is going backwards a little bit.
Freed got a point at the stage. As Lisa Kelly in the chat cheering on Tyler Burgert. Burgert right now riding back in 19th. A lot calmer back there. This is the Hornets' nest. From 5th down to, 15th.
Saw Andy Ducato, who is also trying to hang on to a transfer position into the chase. He got into the wall a little bit. He's sitting here in 15th right now. No bonus points.
Yeah, if there's any good news for the drivers on the outside looking in, Ducato 15th, Rainey 17th. Those are the two drivers who have a little bit more fluid situations. No bonus points for them. Bonus points for Zittel, Ellison, and Freed. Austin Holyfield in 14th as well. Came into the night 11th. Has not had much of a showing up front. Matt Schlosser continues to roll. Threw on Ellison for 4th. I mean, he's clocking 53.8s. Gunter in clean air is in the 54s. So again, pit stops on lap 25 for Schlosser, Kay, and Carver. Everybody else was in on lap 15. What does their outlook for the rest of this race look like versus the drivers that just came in?
Yeah, so the drivers that did not come in there, they came down on lap 15. They're going to have about, they're going to have to run about 28 laps or so here, so they should be able to come down fairly soon. I mean, we're running lap 39 right now. That would put them around lap 43 if they wanted to split that run in half. The problem is they're coming in once. They should be fine on fuel. But, I mean, these drivers that came down on lap 25, they're at a tire advantage if we don't have another caution. They have the tire advantage right now, and they're going to get to have a shorter run to the end as well. But if a caution does fly for those drivers, they're probably going to be in trouble.
We nearly had a caution there as Lucas Carver made contact with Chad Stearns as they were battling for 9th. John Kay, meanwhile, threw on Paul Ellison to move into the top 5. And Jeremy McKinnon snuck in to chat on us. I completely missed that. So hello to Jeremy. Carver threw on Kyle Zittel now. So Carver into 8th.
Matt Schlosser, a big snap there around turn number 1.
He's got the run, though. He'll take it to the inside into turn number 3. 186 before he hits the brakes. And that is a clean pass for the 04. Schlosser back to 2nd. If you hadn't been paying attention the last 14 laps, you would have felt like you didn't miss anything.
Yeah, there was a lot that happened in between those 14 laps, though. One
so
good
now
thing,
it's Schlosser with a 2.9 second deficit. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Gunter was able to extend this lead out, though, which is huge for him when he comes down to make his pit stop. He should be coming here likely in the next couple of laps. Could stretch it a little bit further if he wanted to, but I would assume at this point, I mean, he could also be trying to play, a little bit of caution strategy, try and go a little bit further into this run, see if he can get a caution to come out. I mean, that you can work towards something like that as well. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see Gunter run it out a little bit here. I think it kind of depends on what lap times him and Schlosser are running. As you see, Hayden Palumbo pulls in a couple laps shorter than we expected.
Palumbo in from 3rd. As John Kay now is going to take over 3rd from Jan Van Leer.
Boy,
Schlosser
is sliding these tires. I mean, even though he has a tire advantage right now, he might not as he just hit the wall.
Well, I'll tell you this much. His sliding got him half a second last time around. But he's not going to gain time doing that. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, that might be Schlosser's sign to back it off maybe a little bit here until he can get to his pit window.
Gunter going to bypass pit road entry this time. We'll see if we have any other takers from the top 5. I'm with you. I think that was a couple laps early. But Palumbo maybe just mixing it up. Here comes Andy Poliski. I will attest, though, if you feel like you've burned your stuff up here, it is absolute misery lugging this heavy piece around the track.
Yeah, I mean, it just, when you get to that point, it really feels like, it feels like you can't, obviously it feels like you can't do anything about it, but you have to back up your entries. I mean, if you get the entry just the slightest bit wrong, I mean, you are destined to hit the wall, basically. I mean, you have to get your entries perfect when you get to that point on these tires.
I just think it speaks to the scale of this place that these drivers are doing nearly 190 miles an hour, and they look like they're going so slow. But they are hauling the mail. Here comes Jan Van Leer. Looks like Joshua Madacek is going to follow him in, and he is hot on the brakes.
I mean, this is right at the scheduled stop point here, basically, for halfway for those two. So they're playing it right down the middle of when they came in the last time.
Joshua Rutherford also in this time. After lots of extended time on pit road under our 2 previous cautions.
I like
keeping an eye on Hayden Palumbo's lap time as he comes around here. Go ahead.
I like extending this run for these drivers that are still out on the racetrack, because the drivers that came down on lap 25, they're halfway, their one-stop halfway point is on lap 48. So if these drivers can just go a few more laps, they're basically on the same playing field as here comes Chad Stearns smoking the tires in there. Lots of drivers coming down this time. Whoa, and Garrett Rainey nearly spins it out. Will a caution fly? No, but he's going to miss the commitment cone.
Oh, boy. We'll have to see if Rainey's going to get a stop and hold penalty here. He certainly did not hit the cone.
I mean, did not. I mean, he was going to enter on the inside of it, and then he almost spun it out, and ended up committing after that cone. I'm not sure how exactly iRacing is going to score that, but I mean that could be game over for Rainey to make it to the chase here.
It certainly is detrimental at the very wrong time. Yeah, Rainey is still sitting in his box. So we'll see if he gets rolling here in a moment. I don't think so. I think he's got a penalty. Brody Gunter in from the lead.
Leader Brody Gunter. Looks like Paul Ellison in here as well. Austin Holyfield. And Andy Ducato is that other driver.
So if there was not a glimmer of hope before, there certainly is one now. As Garrett Rainey, most certainly with a penalty, he still sits in his pit box.
So things for me on the cameras are going to get a little bit shaky here now. But that's okay. Josh Freed right behind. Oh, Kyle Zittel. Kyle Zittel called his pit entrance just as Freed was going to try and make a move to the inside. It's going to be just a minor hiccup as his teammate Matt Schlosser is in a couple laps earlier than what he was scheduled for, and you got to believe it's because he was really sliding those tires.
Certainly was. He waits one lap until Brody Gunter comes down pit road, even though he had 10-lap fresher tires.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little concerning. I mean, Schlosser, part of the play there was for Schlosser to be able to go a little bit longer and then have fresher tires at the end, but if we go green from here on out, I mean, that's basically been negated at this point.
5 drivers still on track. John Kay, Lucas Carver with fresher tires than Josh Freed, Tyler Bergert, and Cole Maxwell. I'm sure Freed wants nothing more than a caution right now. Not impossible that he could get one either.
So Lucas Carver still needs to come in for his stop. John Kay in the lead now needs to come in for his stop as well. This is lap 48. This is right at the halfway mark for their final run if they wanted to cut that last run in half.
Matt Schlosser out 3.5 seconds behind Brody Gunter, and he's got Jan Van Leer in the middle of the two. Current leader right now would be Hayden Palumbo by about 3.8 seconds. So he has pulled a massive undercut on Brody Gunter. Lap time for Gunter, though, personal fastest last time around, was about 0.7 quicker than Palumbo.
Kay and Carver are going to bypass. Freed will come in.
22 laps to go. Josh Freed. Again, there is some line at the end of the tunnel for Holyfield, for Ellison, for Zittel, for Freed. Garrett Rainey now a lap down on a pit road entrance violation. I will say none of the 4 of them are in a particularly excellent position to capitalize, though. They're going to need to turn their races around massively. Brody Gunter, another personal fastest lap last time around, 52-43. No, he was not qualifying for the pole of the Indy 500. Matt Schlosser, though, is getting his equipment up to snuff. Theoretically, Schlosser out of tires, but he just ran a purple sector.
Let's see where Josh Freed... Did Freed have a penalty here?
No.
Seemed like he was in there for a long time.
No, 48-second total pit road time. That's about in line with what everybody else is. Actually, a little bit quicker than most of the drivers who are in the mid-49s.
All right. Freed's doing what he's got to do.
An efficient stop. He's got quite a bit of a gap up to Kyle Zittel, though. And he's back in 20th. but fresher tires than a lot of his competitors. Andy Poliski and Joshua Matichek side by side for currently what it is the 10th position. We've got Paul Ellison right behind them.
Ellison licking his chops. He would love to get a couple more positions here.
Tyler Burgert running third, coming down pit road this time. That just leaves Kay and Carver out. And again, they had 10-lap fresher stuff and more fuel than all the drivers around them on this green flag pit cycle, other than Matt Schlosser, who pit early. Looking at lap times for Schlosser, he is 0.4 quicker than Brody Gunter on the last couple of laps. This time at the line, about even. And Schlosser with 3 seconds to make up on Gunter. Schlosser with not much to lose here tonight. Maybe just trying stuff. We do have 2 big tracks in the chase in a row. It's really a 3 big track stretch. Indianapolis tonight for the regular season finale, and we start with Michigan and Pocono the next 2 weeks. So maybe just trying some things. This is still firmly in the maybe column. Leaning towards probably not, but we'll see how it plays out, I guess. Cole Maxwell's in.
Yeah, I mean, this is certainly good practice for Pocono for sure. I mean, one of those turns is, it's modeled after Indianapolis, but, you got a few long straightaways into not super banked. I mean, turn 1 is fairly banked, but the other 2 turns are not very banked at all. And you got to keep momentum at that racetrack, very similar to here at Indianapolis.
Battle for the provisional lead is on. Brody Gunter just got worked all the way down the track by Hayden Palumbo down the backstretch. But Gunter is coming on much fresher tires, and this should be a no-problem pass for the 0-1. Palumbo stuck on the outside, will give way, and Gunter is up to third. But again, that should be for the lead whenever John Kay and Lucas Carver decide to bail. So 18 laps to go.
Yeah, part of this for Kay and Carver is they only have 1 set of tires left, so they're trying to stretch the set out as long as they can, just in case a caution may fly towards the end of this one.
And that will be their advantage on Matt Schlosser, who will really have no choice but to stay out unless he snuck in a 2-tire stop somewhere in there. John Kay is coming in. We'll see if Lucas Carver follows. He does not. Carver going to stay out. And I want to give an attaboy to Lucas Carver as well. This has not been a particularly kind season to him, but he's just as involved as ever. And sticking it out as well. After making the chase last season, was in the top 5 in the point standings, and will not be in the postseason in Season 10. But he's leading here at Indianapolis.
Schlosser starting to close in on Palumbo, who's on the older tires here. I don't have the stats in front of me, but visually it appears that he might be closing in a little bit on Gunter as well.
He certainly is. Lap times, I mean, he was almost a second faster than Gunter last time around. That may have just been because he was catching the draft of Palumbo. But that gap, I think, is down to about 1.8 seconds. So he is making time. If he can continue to do that, he'll be looking good.
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, I guess that's the big thing. I mean, Schlosser's, it seems like he really burnt his tires up trying to, work his way through the field and catch up on that last run before they came down pit road. Is he going to do the same here and lose out on Gunter later on in this run? We're going to have to see if Schlosser can hang on to him.
Carver is hugging the white line, but he's not coming to pit road this time. Let's give you a quick rundown with 15 laps to go. We'll go through the field. Lucas Carver, the leader, still needs to make his final pit stop. Brody Gunter is in second. Matt Schlosser in third. Hayden Palumbo in fourth. We just saw a pass for fifth. Chad Stearns through on Jan Van Leer. So the 05 in 5th, Jan Van Leer back to 6th. Paul Ellison is in 7th. 8th place is Andy Poliski. He's got Zach Lockett coming up quickly on him. Lockett rides in 9th. Joshua Modicek rounds out the top 10. Jack Watts in the 11th. Andy Ducato in 12th. Austin Holyfield in 13th. Kyle Zittel in 14th. Brantley Gainey in 15th. Josh Freed is back in 16th. John Kay in 17th. Tyler Bergert in 18th. Joshua Rutherford in 19th. Cole Maxwell 20th. Gary Clark is in 21st. Garrett Rainey, after a pit road penalty, is currently the final running driver in 22nd. Corey Rutherford, Steve Roman, and Jordan Journeau out of the race, 23rd through 25th.
Try to get everybody in there while you were running them down. We go all the way back around to Brody Gunter.
I can just imagine the click, 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 click. Look at this absolute scrum for 10th. Watts on Modicek with help from Ducato and Holyfield and Zittel and a partridge and a pear tree into turn number 3. Modicek going to lose 4 spots.
Wow.
Ouch.
I mean, that's what we talked about earlier on at the top of the race. If you lose a little momentum, you could lose a lot of positions in a hurry, and that's exactly what just happened to Modicek.
Zach Lockett just made a pass on Andy Poliski, move Lockett up to 8th. I feel like I've said this each of the last couple of weeks, but Lockett been very quietly consistent, and that might just be enough in the postseason. Carver in from the lead. 0-1 will pick up where he left off with a 1.7 second advantage over Matt Schlosser with 14 laps to go. Make it 13 to go at the stripe. Kyle Zittel looking for a move on Austin Holyfield. Again, these are two drivers trying to take advantage of the problems that Garrett Rainey has had. Driver in front of them, Andy Ducato, trying to pad his advantage to the cut line. As Zittel and Holyfield getting their elbows out in KZ53 will take the 12th position. Oh, as Joshua Modicek hard into the outside wall and tracked it all the way down into the grass down the backstretch. And he'll lose a couple more for his efforts. I really do think when he cracked the wall in front of Josh Freed any number of laps ago that he knocked the toe out on that truck. It has just looked devilish ever since. And that's certainly not something you could fix in a 14-second pit stop under green. Solid run for Jack Watts thus far tonight as he had Andy Ducato closing up, but Ducato into the wall down the south chute. So move Watts a couple of truck lengths away from the 0-2.
Here comes Holyfield. Looking for a run on Kyle Zittel. And Zittel will let him have it and turn underneath.
Well, Zittel going to try and turn underneath, but he's also, I'm sure, looking for help from John Kay, who has the second freshest set of tires on the track right now. He is going to be able to blow right by these two. Keeping our eye on it as we watch this battle. But Matt Schlosser inside of a second and a half now on Brody Gunter. He continues to chip away at this advantage on the race leader with the 11 laps to go. Gap still coming down, sector by sector.
Okay, through on Zittel, through on Holyfield. This allows Kyle Zittel to get a run on the 10.
These two just line dancing, rodeo spinning, round and round, trading the same position back and forth. Do-si-do, that's the term I was looking for.
I think boot scooting is what you're really looking for there.
I don't know about you, but I'm about ready to quack one open. It's been a night here at Indianapolis. John Kay back into the top 10 through on Andy Ducato. As the window of opportunities in for a postseason bid. It's been an impressive run for Paul Ellison of late. Stumbled a little bit at Phoenix last week, but that shouldn't take away from the fact that he's in this fight at all, considering that he's missed 3 races this season. And he's going to finish, I think, just outside of contention for a spot in the final 10.
Okay, through on Shaq Watts now. And here comes Austin Holyfield down pit road.
Very curious.
That is interesting.
Well, Matt Schlosser just had some sort of an issue because Brody Gunter put 4 tenths on him down the backstretch. So I'm going to say Schlosser may have gotten into the wall out of turn number 2.
That is a
gap
good
is now
bet.
up to 1.8 seconds. Yeah, that's a good bet for anybody here, honestly.
It really is.
John Kay quickly through on Andy Poliski for 8th. Picking him up and putting him down here on the fresher rubber.
Next up for K will be Zach Lockett.
Lockett not too terribly far up the road. About a second.
After Lockett, he has quite a ways to go to get to 6th place, though, which would be Paul Ellison.
Only about 3.5 seconds. That's doable in 7.5 laps, right?
Sure. I don't know. Tires are going to
Gunter's-
start to wear for these drivers. I mean, there is certainly opportunity for mistakes to be made here.
I think Schlosser is paying the piper right now for wearing out his tires. Gunter continues to pull away. 2.25 seconds down the backstretch. This gap at the line, I think, is going to be bigger than that. And, yeah, Schlosser made a comeback there down the front stretch. But still 2.25 seconds. Gunter 2 tenths quicker than Schlosser last time through. With 7 laps to go. The good thing about having some technical difficulties here tonight is we're not on air again for another week. Venom tonight is our next stream here on Turn 200, so we'll have plenty of time to figure out what is going on.
You are not going to believe this.
Oh my! Don't even tell me that they came on with 7 laps to go.
They sure did. Let me get us back into.
That is just unbelievable. I don't even know what to say. That's just unbelievable.
Hold on, let me see if these are actually working the way they're supposed to.
Oh, well, we've got an incident. Joshua Monachek, he's kept it off the track. We might stay green, but he has crashed into the inside wall. That truck, I think, has finally had enough.
We're back. We're so back.
Wow, that's okay. I don't even know. I don't know what to make of that.
That's our luck. I mean, that's just how it works for us.
Never, I guess. Might pop a rating now. Oh, God.
Paul Ellison still trying to look for one more here, but Jan Van Leer is going to be a tough pass here.
I don't think we've really mentioned it very concretely, but Chad Stearns in 4th. He just kind of snuck in there under the pit cycle. You talk about threats to win the title. He's hot right now. That is bad news, especially with Michigan in there. You might as well just give him the checkered flag now.
I mean, there's a lot of drivers that really have a good opportunity to win the championship that are, really getting hot right now. So, I mean, this is about as exciting of a championship as we could potentially see.
Hayden Palumbo's another driver that's getting hot right now. Unfortunately, he will not be in the postseason. He missed a couple of races in the middle of the season. I really wish he would have made one of those races to see him get up and fight for it, because he's been battling for wins the last few weeks. Four more circuits. Gunter continues to pull away little by little on Schlosser. Schlosser get gobbled up here by Austin Holyfield. Oh, Joshua Matichuk is slow on the top of the track. I can't believe that didn't bring out a caution. He was nearly at a dead stop there in the north chute, or rather in the south chute.
And now, in his smoke, Kyle Zittel is back to battling with Andy Ducato, and Lucas Carver just is to the inside of Josh Freed here.
Remember, Carver on tires was the last driver to come in under the green flag pit cycle. That really was not that long ago. Three laps to go up front.
Woo, boy, Ducato down the racetrack a bit, nearly got into Zittel.
These tires are worn out, and these drivers are worn out. It is not impossible that these folks could get tangled together here.
I mean,
especially
that could
with
be
Carver coming on the fresher rubber.
This could be disaster for Ducato if he lets this thing get away from him here. He has just got to keep this thing in one piece.
Carver's coming with a big run here, and he's going to take it to the tailgate of Kyle Zittel. He will get to the inside of Ducato here. Wisconsin on Wisconsin violence here in the Hoosier State. Ducato way up into the gray.
Potential playoff implications here with Ducato.
Every pass matters, especially with Freed in the mix here. Might be a 3-spot swing for the O2. 2 laps to go. This lead is ballooning. Corner by corner for Gunter. Schlosser gave it everything he had.
Up the road a bit, Sean Kay has actually caught Paul Ellison. I did not think he was going to be able to do that here.
Wow.
And,
that is impressive.
I mean, yeah, Ellison definitely needs every point he can try and get.
1 lap to go for Brody Gunter. Race is official. On the outside, Chance Ellison is in a position right now to make the postseason. This is not going to help. McKay is going to make this pass easily, nearly down onto the flat. They'll continue to battle. Coming through the north chute right now, rounding turn at number 4, Brody Gunter. We'll see the checkered flag for the 4th time this season. The 14th time in his Venom Truck Series career. Quack one open. Gunter takes Indianapolis. Schlosser in Palumbo on the podium. Chad Stearns in 4th. Jan Van Leer in 5th. And John Kay through on Paul Ellison for 6th. We'll hope by the end of the night that we get the official point standings in. Things definitely very fluid at the end of this one. I don't know if they were quite fluid enough, but we will see. Certainly the drivers that would be in the best position would be, really honestly, just Paul Ellison.
I mean, Ellison got the bonus points. He got the finishing position. Really would have been nice if he could have gotten 6th, but I mean, 7th is still a good spot to be. But so yeah, I mean, was it enough?
While we wait to shore up the final 2 spots in the chase, Brady Gunter takes his 4th victory of the season. And he brings his favorite stat back into balance. Won the pole a couple of weeks ago and didn't get to win the race. Well, now he has won the race without getting the pole. So he's back to even Stevens at 14-14. Little moonwalk. Oh. I bet he needs that truck for Michigan and Pocono the next 2 weeks. I wouldn't be banging it off the walls like that.
Certainly for Pocono.
And
you
into
get
his
it fixed
pit.
up.
Oh. Yeah, I got time. Make everybody work over Thanksgiving, why don't you? Let's, I guess since we can do it now, let's get the full finishing rundown.
How about it?
After 70 laps here tonight, Brady Gunter for the win, Matt Schlosser in second, Hayden Palumbo in third. We'll hopefully talk to all 3 of these guys in just a second. 4th place to Chad Stearns, 5th Dion Van Leer, John Kane, 6th Paul Ellison, and 7th Zach Lockett, and 8th Andy Poliski, Jack Watts, your top 10. It is 11th for Kyle Zittel, 12th for Lucas Carver, Josh Freed in 13th, Andy Ducato in 14th, Bert McGaney to round out the top 15. Tyler Berger in 16th. It is Cole Maxwell 17th, Joshua Rutherford of 18th, Austin Holyfield, Gary Clark, your top 20. 21st for Garrett Rainey, 22nd for Joshua Matacek, who is somehow finishing this race. Corey Rutherford, Steve Roman, Jordan Journeau do not finish the events here this evening. 23rd, 24th, 25th for them. So we'll go looking now for your podium finishers, and we'll bring in Hayden Palumbo, who will take home the bronze here this evening. Led a lot of laps, and we'll come home with a podium as well. I mean, not too bad, all things considered, here tonight.
It could have been a little better. I think if I'd waited just a few more laps, I probably would have been a little more competitive, and then didn't run, 3 or 4 qualifying laps, trying to beat them back around, after pitting. I think it'd been a little better. Might could have ran a little bit more competitive.
What all went into the decision to pull the trigger when you did to make your pit stop? Was it solely handling, or did you have a strategy in mind?
Well, I just kind of running my thoughts. I was thinking, Schlosser pit, I guess, on the second caution, and I thought about it, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna do the opposite. And then Brody jumped out, so I kind of made the decision that I was gonna pit whenever the fresh tires caught us, if they ever did catch us. And then, my plan was to short hit Brody no matter what, just to hopefully try to beat him around.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a good finish here. I think my only question for you is, was tonight's race fueled by some Louisiana-style chips?
They were not. It was not fueled by the chips. But there have been races here in the past, like the past couple weeks, that were fueled by kitchen cooked Louisiana-style chips.
I mean, we got to get a kitchen cook scheme on track with Venom. I think that would just be the absolute tops.
Got to get one cooked up for him.
I think so. We'll see where you get fired up.
You know who the guy needs to be to run it. So, just let me see that when it's ready, and I will make sure that it is on turn 200 for those to see it.
There you go. Looking forward to that. But, man, you've been on the tear of late. Great to get to talk to you once again here this evening. And let's get some shout-outs in before we let you go.
I will shout out you guys for always doing a great job. I always go back and watch the race just to see what I can see and, learn what I can learn and enjoy. Shout out Mom and Dad. They're probably watching. I think I got a fan club at my wife's parents' house. Hopefully they're watching still. But it was a good run, which I think I'm 2 or 3 short. I'm on a fall. Probably like 1 or 2 positions out of the playoffs. But it was all around, it's been a good season so far. So hopefully we can finish strong and be the first one out.
There you go. Thanks for the time, as always. Congrats on the podium, and we'll hopefully talk to you again next week at another big track in Pocono, or in Michigan.
You better plan on it.
That's what we like to hear, baby. And speaking of Hayden Palumbo, I don't think we've got to run the new nickname by Matt Schlosser. I think the preferred nomenclature has always been the Silent Assassin, but Palumbo in the chat the other night coined the Schloss Boss. Do you like that more?
I mean, I don't know. I'll take either one. Maybe you combine them into like the Schloss ass. I don't know. Silent. I don't know. you guys think of something.
Well, there's potential there. But back to the matter at hand here tonight, boy. It was sort of a wonky night for you. You take the pole, you drop back a couple of positions early, but I mean, talk about pulling the ripcord there on lap 25 and coming in to bolt on a fresh set of tires.
Yeah, that was. I was hoping what would happen there is I would get to the front quickly and get back around the leaders and build a little bit of a gap before the pit cycle, but that did not quite happen. I just kind of got back to where I was. It also didn't help that at Indy you can't. It's reverse. The protection against the pit stop works the other way, where you don't want to run long because people don't lose laps when they pit. So, in hindsight, I probably should have just stayed out, but it was worth a shot, I think. Either way, I think Brody had the speed and had us covered, but it was worth a shot. But once I lost the lead on the start, my plan A was to stay up front and just control the race. But once I lost the lead, I got to racing and burned up myself a little. And I guess I thought I needed to get a little creative. Maybe I didn't, but it worked out okay.
All right, society meeting is underway. What you got?
Yeah, congrats on the good run here. You just kind of discussed the strategy call there. I mean, to me, it worked fairly well. I think did you just have to push too hard to try and make it work? Because, I mean, you were making up incredible lap times. It just didn't look like it was quite sustainable there for you.
Yeah, I think it would have worked if we were at a shorter track where running long would have been a safer thing to do. It might have worked, but also as soon as Brody pit, like he was going to have the advantage, because if I do run long, I thought about taking fuel only on my last stop. I don't know if that would have worked at all, but to answer your question, I think I just needed to maybe get to the front a little sooner before my tires kind of like equalized to theirs. And, I was also hoping that I would bring more of the field in with me. Like my hope was I would come out maybe 8th or 10th, but I came out like 17th or 18th, which, it's hard to get through traffic here. So it just didn't really work, but I don't know, fun to try it.
Well, I do believe, and we've got, I guess, the unofficial final season standings. You take a narrow regular season championship over Brody Gunter. I mean, talk about the final five coming up here. Certainly an interesting, usually get more of a variation of tracks, but this not much variety. Is that sort of a determining factor in a positive way or a negative way here, do you think?
I think it's I thought it was a decent. I mean, there's Pocono in there that's kind of unique. Charlotte's a pretty standard 1.5. There's no super speedway, right? So that's interesting. And there's no road course, which normally I'd be sad about, but with Brody being so good on the road courses, maybe it's good that we don't have one. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it'll be a good mix of tracks. I believe the short track is it Iowa or is it Rich? I can't remember what the short track is.
So we've got Michigan and Pocono, two big tracks, North Wilkesboro and Rockingham, two sort of short/intermediate tracks, and then, like you said, Charlotte, which is a double length race to close out the season.
Right. Okay. Northwooks is the short track. Yeah, I'm excited about that one. I like all those tracks. Rockingham's probably the one I need to do the most work on because I usually burn up my stuff there. So I probably need to do a little work on that. But it'll be fun. I'm excited to be in the chase again and do another championship battle. It was really fun last time, and hopefully it works out again. But we got obviously some really good guys in there to make it a tough challenge. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, let's get some shout outs in once again before we let you go.
Yeah, shout out to Venom and the admin team and Kyle Zittel for running everything. Shout out to Turn 200. Congrats to Brody on the win. Congrats to Hayden on podium finish. Shout out to the team. Looks like top 5 for Chad, top 10 for Zach. Did Josh get in the chase? Do you guys know yet?
He did not, unless they changed something. He missed by 7 points.
Oh man, well he had a hell of a season. He deserved to be in. Didn't quite work out for him. So hopefully he can be best of the rest. Yeah, that's pretty much what I got for shout outs.
All righty, partner. Thanks for the time, Aaron, tonight, and we'll hope to talk to you again next week in Michigan.
Yeah, you can strike those nicknames from the ones that I thought of from the record. Just stick to the ones that you guys thought. So, yeah.
You know, they say never hit the delete button. You know, so they'll stay on the page, but maybe we'll just forget about it.
They'll live on YouTube forever, so that's good.
Amen to that. Yeah, we'll dump them straight after that, and we'll bring in Brody Gunter, winner for the 4th time this season. And I mentioned it already. Your favorite stat is back in balance after taking the poll a couple of weeks ago. But I mean, a decidedly strong victory here tonight, especially there late. I don't know how you are able to sustain pace as well as you have at a track this difficult, and also just be generally that fast.
I mean, I'd like to say it's probably the real life aspects, but at the same time, there's sometimes very little that transfers over, and you have to almost do the opposite of what you do in this. But I would definitely say one that comes into play is I was telling Luke last night in the open practice type thing is that it's like balance. You have to balance the car with this wheel and the gas pedal and the brake to the corner to make it lean on the tire you want and make it wear and heat up when you want in the corner. So I feel like that was the main thing, but the hardest thing tonight was truly just dirty air. I mean, it was like dirty air was everything in the corners, and you get straight away and you'd be like, okay, maybe the dress can be major like Auto Club, and it just really wasn't. It would not pull you back to the post in front. So I know being behind Hayden was beginning of the race was very frustrating because I felt like I was faster than him, but I just couldn't get within 2/10. And finally, I was able to. And don't ask me how I passed him on the outside. It's just like we'll just make a shot here, and maybe make him wear his right front. And then when it stuck out of turn 4 and I beamed to the line, I was like, well, I guess I'm committed to trying this now. And then from then on, I feel like I got kind of lucky that I played the pit strategy right there. Was like some people pitted. And I stayed out, and then like you said, I mean, I don't feel like I was the best at the end of the race there in the long run. I feel like Slosher was way better on the long run, chased me down from 4 seconds to almost under 1. He just then I think he said he hit the wall and it messed up his truck, and then he dropped off because of that. So I felt like he was my biggest concern the entire race, but especially those last 20 laps.
All right, Matt, what you got for the race winner?
Well, first of all, congrats on the race win. You're carrying tons of momentum into the chase here. So, I mean, I think that's where everybody is now headed to. Now that the regular season is officially over, we're going to flip over to the final 5 races. I mean, there's a lot of stiff competition here. I mean, between you, Schlosser. I mean, you look at Chad Stearns, John Kay, Police. I mean, there is a pretty stacked group of drivers here that, I mean, seemingly all have a pretty darn good chance at, making this thing go their way. I mean, what is your focus on for the next 5 races?
Make it to all 5 is my first thing.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
Yeah, I mean that's my main goal because I just haven't been able to do a full season yet, and I usually always miss 1 or 2 of the chase races. But to be part of the chase again is really cool. I mean, last time I think I finished, second in the points. Funny enough, I love that second place at times. Whenever if you can't be first, might as well be second. But I mean, yeah, I don't know if I got the regular season championship, I assume Slosher probably held it off by at least 5-something points. Yeah, I know I
9.
won the stage. 9. Okay, yeah, I knew it was at best I was got within 5 points of him. But still a good run nonetheless, considering that by the end of 5 flags, I was like 26 in points to get back to second. By this point, I'm very impressed with myself. It's been a really good second half of the season since Nashville. And yeah, I mean, the confidence is definitely high going to the chase, but I know a lot can happen because now all that bubble me and Slosher had is gone, so someone can just go from 10th place up to like first or second in the points just from one good race next week. But today was just a nice confidence booster from the rough day I've had today. So today was just a nice turnaround to at least have something go my way today, and do at a track that I've actually turned a lap around in a race car. It was at 20-30 miles an hour, but still did nonetheless.
Well, like you said, there are quite a few drivers that I would say are carrying a lot of momentum into the postseason, but I'd say you're probably at the top of that list right now. So we're looking forward to this drive in the final 5. Let's get some shout-outs in, though, after your 4th win of the season.
I would shout out to Court CGI Graphics, Josh at Mutt Meets Productions, Sam at Sobe on Twitch, all of us at Work in Progress. Still trying for that team championship. Just sadly, my luck's turned around the second half of the season. Sadly, my teammates, their luck has not turned around. But we're still going to try and keep chasing it. Thank you to everyone at Venom with the drivers, for everyone showing up tonight, putting on a good race, and the admins for putting on this race and running it, as well as you guys at Turn 200 for broadcasting it and always making sure to make us look good.
Well, the final question I've got for you is, what are you looking forward to most on Thursday lunch?
What?
Thanksgiving?
Oh, yes. You know, I completely forgot, man. I'll be honest. I was so confused. I was like, what?
I was too.
Yeah,
It's
what are you
okay.
doing for lunch on Thursday?
I was so confused. I completely forgot this week's Thanksgiving, so you said that, and I was like, is this something you guys talking to broadcast about, and you forgot to, further explain to me? Let's see. I don't know. I mean, turkey's really good, but I'm gonna say turkey. Turkey's probably my favorite. I mean, who doesn't like turkey?
I was gonna say, you can't go wrong with the classic there. But all right, well, have a bunch of turkey on Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving, safe travels. We'll hopefully talk to you again next Tuesday.
All right, thank you guys. Enjoy your Thursday lunch as well.
Damn it. All right. Well, I want to give you the numbers here because we talked about it, kind of not quite comfortable for those drivers above the cut line. You talk about uncomfortable. How about 11th through 15th, separated by 13 points? And Paul Ellison and Josh Freed tied for 11th, missed out by 7 markers. Over 15 races, 7 points. Think about for Ellison, he missed 3 whole races. Any one of those starting park might have just gotten him into the chase, which is tough to swallow for sure. But Andy Ducato and Garrett Rainey are in. Ellison and Freed, 7 points out. Zittel, 10 points out. Holyfield, 12 points out. Palumbo, 13 points out. Similarly, he missed 2 races this season, 1 more than your allotment allows for. So, again, a starting park for him could have put him at least closer. And he's been on a tear late as well. So, that's disappointment for them. But for Andy Ducato and Garrett Rainey, they are racing in the postseason for the first time. Of course, it's Ducato's rookie season in the Venom Truck Series. But Garrett Rainey is yet to make the postseason with the Venom Truck Series. That is now over, as he is in the fight for the final 5 races for the championship. The chase for the Nathan Reynolds Cup is on, Matt Williamson. How about that?
Certainly is. Chase for the Nathan Reynolds Cup, to me, is going to be, it's going to be something. We have just a crazy field of drivers here for a top 10. I mean, I love the fact that we have some new faces in there. Of course, reigning champion Matt Schlosser, former champions John Kay, Andy Poliski. I mean, Zach Lockett has been super consistent. Josh Matichek has been the most consistent driver to not get a win which is just crazy. I mean, he could pop off at any moment, really. Of course, Andy Ducato, really, really strong start to the season. Had to really fight to keep his position there in the top 10, but he could come alive at any point. Garrett Rainey having a spectacular second half of his season as well. I mean, everybody is just on point right now, and it really seems like just about anything could happen, especially with some of the racetracks we're going to. I mean, you look at a track like Rockingham, North Wilkesboro, you can get in any amount of trouble at North Wilkesboro. This is going to be a dogfight here for Season 10 championship, and there is no place we'd rather have it than right here on Turn 200 in the coming weeks. So thank you to everybody that tuned in here tonight, even though we had some difficulties. Glad that we could at least get them back for the last 7 laps of the race. Which is just ridiculous, but that's how it goes here. So shout out to everybody that was here. Shout out to Eric Breeding. Unfortunately missed it, but he's at deer camp right now, so that is gonna be a good time for him. Hope he's enjoying it. Some of these folks, like Tommy mentioned earlier, YouTube has switched to handles rather than names. Some of them not all that familiar, so apologies if we should know who you are. But shout out to CS iRacing, who was cheering on Josh Freed. Unfortunately, just a little bit short, but still going to look to finish off strong for the last 5 races. Shout out to Zach Lockett, who is in the top 10 and will be racing for a championship. Shout out to Jan Van Leer, Stickers McQueen, Lisa Kelly, Rob Williams, or should I say Rob Salty Williams. Go check out Salty there on the socials. Shout out Jeremy McKinnon, Corey Rutherford, Joshua Rutherford, Ross Racing 99, Surby, who is that Sam Bobgard?
Sam Bobgard.
Yes,
Yep.
Of course it is. Shout out to American Speed Network and Bailey Monachek, Nathan Carroll, and Robin Monachek as well. Thanks, guys, for tuning in and sticking with us through this one. Appreciate you being here. Shout out to all the drivers that came out tonight as well. And I am most looking forward to not having stuffing because stuffing is trash.
Wow. I will say, as I've evolved my taste over the years, I've come to maybe not seek out stuffing, but I appreciate it. My opinion has changed.
I don't know. I just wanted to throw a hot take out there, but I actually never eat stuffing, so it's not that I necessarily hate it. It's just definitely not my favorite.
Well, I don't know what to do with this information, but I'm gonna move on. I think. I'll tell you what. I want some pumpkin pie, damn it.
Oh,
That's
now
what
we're
I
talking.
But died in the last couple weeks. Pumpkin pie is gonna hit the spot. I can't wait. Yeah. Let's. Well, this is normally when I plug our next broadcast, but our next broadcast is next Tuesday for the Venom Truck Series at Michigan. So the chase for the Nathan Reynolds Cup is on next Tuesday night at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. If you are with the Daredevil series, we are having a private test tomorrow night. If you're not traveling for Thanksgiving and you want to come run the Lotus 79 at Watkins Glen for a secret project, catch us half an hour later than the session would normally open at 6:30 Eastern Time. Right? No, 7:30 Eastern Time. And we'll get you up to speed on what we're cooking up for the Daredevil series. I'm very excited about it. And it's going to blow some people away, and that's for sure. But that's all we got for you, I do believe. Thanks to everybody with the Venom Truck Series. And thank you to the drivers, as always. Thanks to anybody that was hanging out in the chat with us. And a big thank you to Matt Williamson tonight for having to deal with a little bit extra of what was going on. Happy Thanksgiving. Safe travels to everybody out there. Until we meet again from Indianapolis Motor Speedway, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long, and congratulations to Brody Gunser, winner of the Quack 1 Open 175 for his 14th career Venom Truck Series victory. Have a good night, everybody.
Gobble, gobble.
This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.